Welcome to the Podcasting Mentor Podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to stop hiding and start showing up on the right stages without the burnout. I'm Candace Dudley, podcast guesting strategist, and your go-to for turning interviews into your favorite marketing and networking tool. And guess what? My podcast guesting accelerator is now enrolling for summer. Yep, this is your sign to finally get off the sidelines and into the spotlight. Like my client, Kelly, who landed 8 guest spots in a single week after we worked together. She called it a no-brainer and said she'd 1000% do it again. That's the power of intentional guesting, and that's exactly what I'll help you do. Let's get brave, let's get strategic, and let's get you heard. Head to the show notes for more details on my podcast guesting accelerator. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. I have Chrissi on. She's a certified mindset coach helping business owners step out of overwhelm and crappy mindset traps and start doing the dang thing. She's also a podcast host. We just recorded an episode over on her show. Now we're coming over here to swap, and I love these connections that we can make as podcasters doing this. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Shout out to Threads for introducing me to the best people.
Oh my gosh. I shout Threads out all the time, and I'm like, I am not paid by them. I haven't been able to get their bonus thing yet. It is like so dialed in over there with the right algorithm, connecting the right people, and like, oh my gosh, breathing life into me because social media had been feeling like a really big time suck.
Yeah, luckily Meta gave us that little dog bone of, here you go, here's something that actually works.
Yes.
And the interesting thing, then this is such a side note, but you can really adjust your algorithm. Like if you decide you don't want to see anything anymore, if you hide it, it's gone forever. Like it doesn't pop back up. In case you didn't know that,
I didn't.
I hid every political post I could possibly find. And the next day, like I have not seen any since. It was so cool.
Oh my gosh. How can we do that over there and we can't do it on other platforms? That's amazing. Okay, let's dive in. I want you to give us kind of the snapshot of like what you do and who you help.
Well, Candace just gave me on my episode, on my podcast, the Do the Dang Thing podcast, she said, step into your new identity. So I'm Chrissi. I'm a certified mindset coach, podcast host, and lover of wine, coffee, all of the fun beverages. And I'm also a full-time air traffic controller. So instead of putting the ATC first, we're going to put that at the end.
Yes, I love it. So I want to talk about that though. I know my listeners are very much solopreneurs, beginning stages maybe, and also into entrepreneurship, but usually wearing a lot of hats, doing things on our own, like you and I. And so having that job alongside this, not everybody's ready to leave their 9 to 5 yet, but we want to be able to make strides and start that business. And you are doing that exact thing. How can someone start and manage those two things at once?
It goes back to mindset. Everything that I preach goes back to mindset of instead of saying, I don't know how to fit both a 9 to 5 and my business into my everyday life, going, I can figure out how to fit my 9 to 5 and my business into my everyday life.
I love that. Isn't that funny that when we shift just that little bit of how we're saying it, it allows our brain to come up with the answer,
Yeah,
you know?
it begins to problem solve and figure out like, hey, if I pack my lunch today, I can use my lunch break to go be on social media or go finish this project. And I actually find that when I have these little teeny tiny bursts of time, 45 minutes here, 30 minutes here, I can get so much more done in those little times because I'm on a time crunch versus if I have like today, I have all day, I'm off from my full-time job, I have all day, and I'm probably going to spend some time scrolling and messing around. And I'm not going to get as much done as I potentially could have if these were the same amount of time was in 30 or 45 minute blocks of time.
That's so true that you can really use that as a superpower. Just switching that mindset of like, this is a powerful thing because I know my time is limited. So I'm going to get really focused on what gets to be in that time and really choosy and intentional about that. So I definitely think that's a place for people to start of, like you said, not thinking, oh, I don't have the time. Okay, I have this amount of time. And then we can prioritize, what am I going to do during this? What are things that move the business forward, and decide those things. And yes, some things will have to wait because you don't have endless amounts of time, but you can start making those decisions.
Absolutely. Prioritization is number one. I think for every single business owner, knowing what moves the needle forward, what is the most important thing, what is the biggest use of my time. And for me, sometimes it's like, well, I'm going to put this podcast episode out and it's not edited, but it's still they're going to get to hear that I'm a real human being.
Yes.
And I'm putting it out to the world with errors and all, but it's still going to help someone today and being okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Your podcast is called Do the Dang Thing. It's obviously about taking action. How important is it to take action, whether it's messy, inspired, like you just mentioned? And how do you decide, like you said, with the limited amount of time you have, how do you decide what actions to take?
I love that. Okay. So taking action definitely is going to be your best tool. When you sit and you waffle on, do I want to do this? Or you get stuck in the research, in the overwhelm. I think when you were on my podcast, you were talking about you spent a year researching how to start a podcast, but the best thing that you did was just hit record and publish that first episode. And that's where you're going to learn what podcast host you need, what, does my mic work? Do I need to use headphones? By actually sitting down and recording.
A lot of people know like what steps they need to take, or they know I need to do this, this, and this, but how do you decide which ones take precedent? How do you decide what pieces to act on?
If I only have about, 30 minutes to get something done, what's the next deadline that I need to hit? Whether that's self-imposed or, hey, a client actually needs something back. And then if there's no like pressing deadline, what is going to move the needle forward the most? Mm-hmm. So is it organizing my photos in my photo app, or is it going on social media and being social and making new connections?
Right.
And the answer is always going to be going and connecting, and the admin stuff can wait till later. I'm going to throw this in here, a huge fan of delegating. And delegating can look a lot of different ways. That can be an Instacart shopper to do your grocery shop. That can be a crock pot to cook your meals that saves you 30 minutes. There's 30 minutes to go work on your business. That can be a virtual assistant for 5 hours a month to go do the admin stuff that you just don't have time to do. And that frees up 5 hours of your month to go do things that do move the needle forward. And then that can look all the way to hiring someone like you to go out and do the research and really help you take aligned action. And it can look anything in between there. There are 1,000,001 different things that you can delegate or outsource. Technology is also a huge, huge thing in there. What can you automate? What can you put into a system so you can be more hands-off with that?
I love that you gave that scope of it, because I think when we hear the word delegate, we automatically think hire a housekeeper. We think of these big things and you're like, can't handle that expense right now, or that type of feeling behind it. I can't hire a full-time employee, but there are a lot of different levels to this. I have kids and they are now at the ages of like that upper elementary, middle elementary age, where it's like, you are going to learn how to do the dishwasher and you are going to learn how to move the washed clothes into the dryer. And it's not going to be perfect. And sometimes the food is still going to be on the plates in the dishwasher when it's done and we got to redo it, but done is better than perfect. And those things are just going to help you along the way. I know that they help me. So I appreciate that scope.
I think the mindset there too, and this one's really important, is whatever you delegate, you have to be okay with it being done to 80%. It's never going to be done to your 100%, but it's going to be really solidly done to 80%. And so does that mean your cashmere sweater gets put in the dryer and shrinks? Yeah, probably. Yeah. When you're letting your 7-year-old do the wash.
Yes, 100%.
But you know what? You know what they learn in that situation? Hey, don't wash mom's cashmere sweater. Or don't dry mom's cashmere sweater, right? Yes. And they learn like a really valuable life lesson. And yeah, there might be tears about the sweater. Or, hey, buddy, before you put the plate in the dishwasher, we need to scrape off some of these bigger chunks, or, give it to the dog to lick off, whatever.
Exactly.
There's steps to this process, and they're going to learn now when they're full-blown adults and out in the world. They're going to learn like, oh, I need to scrape off this plate before I put it in the dishwasher, versus learning in college, which I went to an almost all male college, and none of those guys knew how to do anything at all.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to especially teach your boys also how to do household tasks. Take me back to the beginning of your business. And I don't know if I asked how long, like if you can give us a timeline of like how long you've been at this coaching business, but take me back to the beginning. How was it born? Where did the idea come from? Or where did you know that there was a need for this? Because there is. Tell me about those pieces.
So I started in network marketing in 2019. I had just finished certifying at my job. It's like a 3 to 4 year certification process. And I was kind of looking around and going, well, what's next? Like I've always been in school. I've always been doing something. What can I do next? And so network marketing just kind of fell in my lap. I got invited to a party, kind of fell in love with the product. It was exactly what I was looking for. And I started building that business. I was like, I guess this is what's next. It was dropped into my lap. And throughout that, I had never really done much self-development. Those thoughts started to creep in. No one wants this product. I'm being too pushy, blah, 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 blah. And so about a year into that journey, I found a mindset coach that had like a big group program. And so I invested in that. And I had set my sights on earning a trip to Punta Cana. I was like, wait, regular people can earn these trips. But I needed to triple my best month ever every month for 12 months in order to earn it. And I was like, well, hold my beer. We're gonna figure out how to earn this. And
Yes.
my husband was like, there's no way for you to earn this. I said, just watch. And I earned it with 3 days left to go.
Oh my gosh.
That really set me up for success in network marketing. I grew to the top 5% of the team. I had a big team and I was kind of again looking around going, well, what's next? I've earned the trip 3 times. What else is there out there? And I just so happened to be at like a leadership retreat with my coach and she announced, hey, we're going to like the next step for you guys that have gone through this program, that know how to manage yourself. I'm going to teach you how to manage your team and how to coach your team. Here's a mindset certification. I invested in that and it absolutely changed my life for the better. I got into therapy. I started coaching one-on-one with another coach every week. And it really just kind of changed my outlook on how I approached life of anything is possible if you believe it's possible. My coach asked me, well, what's next? Like, is there another big goal in network marketing? Is there something else you want to do? What is your plan? And I was like, I think it's coaching people. And at the time, I reached out to my entire team and I was like, I got this coaching certification to help you guys. And they're all like, that's cool. I'm busy. And not a single one of them wanted to coach. And I was like, did I just spend all this money like not to get an ROI? I was like, absolutely not. So I decided to take out a new LLC and just go for it. And I did it messy. And I've had multiple rebrands in the process of, am I a mindset coach? Am I an action taking coach? Am I a business coach? And I really finally this year settled into, I'm a mindset coach that helps people in all different walks of businesses find the clarity that they need to keep moving forward, to do the dang thing, if you will.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We have such a similar story with that. And I just find it so interesting how I also started network marketing, but it's so crazy how different things in your life you don't really know are opening one door and then the next. And it's like revealing this path slowly that you just cannot predict, but you just trust a little bit and you keep walking forward. For me, it was always, okay, I kind of could feel in my gut or like in this knowing. I sometimes get full body goosebumps or there's like signs you can just like feel in your body. And I think as women, we all have this. It's that intuition that we also have been taught to ignore. So paying attention to that, it's like a sign of like, yep, I need to follow this. Do I know why I want to take a course on meditation and mindfulness coaching? No, I absolutely do not know why I want to get this certification, but I'm going to do it because I feel like I want this. And so it just leads you down this path. But it's also like these blocks of confidence, I feel like being stacked up. And all of a sudden you're at this different place in life and you're like, wait a minute, I don't really need this network marketing business. I needed it before. I needed it to teach me things, but now I know things. Like I've done this. I can help people. And so I love that you took that leap, even though the current group of people or at the time, the group of people you had were like, no, we're not it. We don't want this. Knowing and trusting like there are people for you out there. There's people for all of us is scary because you're like, well, how am I going to find them? So do you want to speak to that next of like, how do you find them? I know you like to connect. We're doing a connection right now. We did a podcast swap. So there's different things like that. But do you want to speak to how that works for you?
So I kind of try to just cast a really wide net and see who gravitates. Like, who do I gravitate to and who out there gravitates towards me? And I am unapologetically me. If you listen to my podcast, I'm probably going to drop an F-bomb. And so it's marked explicit just in case I do. And if you don't like that, I'm probably not the person for you. Or if you don't like that sometimes in my Reels or Instagram Live, I'm drinking some wine, also probably not for you. And so I just really have tried to embrace myself. How do I show up when I'm sitting around drinking coffee or drinking wine with my friends? And that's the same person I show up as online. And then being really intentional about connecting with people. And so like with you, I went and got your bundle. And when I really loved it, I was like, hey, Candace, this is really, really great. Like this was exactly what I needed. And just making those genuine connections, being a real human on the internet. Actually, the best compliment I ever got was when someone had watched me for a while on social media and then joined my membership and came to all these live coaching calls. They're like, who you show up on Instagram as is the exact same person that you are as a coach. And I'm like, yeah, and if we went and had coffee today, be the same exact person over there too. And so just be yourself. And I know everyone says that, but like, stop putting a filter on it. Don't use your Instagram voice. Don't use your podcasting voice. Just use your voice that you would use to talk to a friend with.
That's so true. And I think somewhere along the line, I don't know if it's like our generation, but we were taught that we had to fit in this box and that, just as kids sometimes like speak when you're spoken to, otherwise be quiet. And that's just not what we need to do now as adult women. We are here to live authentically, and that starts with coming back home to yourself. I feel like I had to learn myself after having kids. I had to kind of come back to myself and say like, oh, hi, you're here too. Where have you been? Like, that was a crazy few years of 3 kids in diapers. Hi, what do we like to do? What are we passionate about? What do we care to speak on? And trusting that, like you said, you're not for everybody, but you are for the right people. And that's your tribe. And I love that you talked about connections too, because when you do find those genuine things, like how we just genuinely connected, keep those connections going. Follow each other, cheer each other on, because we don't know down the line if we're going to collaborate later or if I'm going to have people that I can refer to you or vice versa. You just don't know how that's going to look. And so when it is genuine and authentic, follow it and go with that.
I've made so many friends on the internet. You don't need a million BFFs, but you need a lot of little connections and referrals. I have someone that I follow that I've been following for a couple years. I'm in her membership, and the content that she puts in that membership for $50 a month probably saves me 10, 15 hours a week. The amount of help, it's a ChatGPT membership and like how to use AI to speed things up. Like the amount of information that she puts out there for $50 a month. Anytime I see a post about ChatGPT, I just can't get it to sound like me. Go follow her and take some of her prompts. And when the next time her membership's open, go join it because that will just change the face of your business. And like that costs me nothing to do.
Yes.
And now she does the same thing for me in return. Not because we're like, oh, if you help me, I'll help you. It's like, no, genuinely, your membership helps me. My membership helps you.
Yes.
Just be real humans.
Yeah. And just take the expectations out of it. Like if you feel called to give someone a shout out, like please do. Please compliment them. I don't think we do that enough. And I love that. Okay. I want to talk about, I know you do a free call once a month. First of all, this is a great resource and value. And I want you to, in a second, tell people like what it is and why they need to be on it. But first, can you walk us through that process? Because I think people, especially listening, that want to start a service-based business, a coaching business, things like that. This is a really great place to start because it's going to get you in front of people with real things that are going on. So it's going to then give you ideas. It's going to give you content, all the things. So walk them through, how do you make that work? How do you decide when the calls are? Like give some ins and outs of that process.
Because I have a full-time job, my time is very limited in the time that I get to work my business. So the call gets scheduled. I try to do 1 month in the evening for people that work full-time and 1 month during the day for people that can't hop on a call at night. I have a whole bunch of clients that are in Europe too. So our lunchtime call is their evening call, basically. And then the evening call is in the middle of the night. So I'm like, well, you can make every other month. And I really felt called that because I had this gift and because I wanted to share it, I needed to make it accessible, group coaching accessible to anyone that was willing to put in the time to go to this call. And so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, group coaching is basically where we get together on Zoom and one person raises their hand and says, I'm struggling with this in my business. Can you help me get through it? And we go through and we identify what is going on in their head. And when I have this thought, I take this action, and this action produces this result. And I ask you, do you like that result that you're producing? And if you do, great, keep doing it. But most of the time, no, I don't love that result. Well, what result do you want? And then we work backwards, or sometimes we work forward and we try on a new thought. Just like at the beginning of this call, where I said, I don't have time to work my business because I have a 9 to 5, to I can find slivers of time to work my business, or I can, despite having a 9 to 5, I can still work my business. And it's just those little teeny tiny mindset shifts that help. And because I work full time, I really don't have capacity for very many one-on-one clients. So my bread and butter is group coaching calls. And the really cool thing about it is even if you aren't able to come on camera and get coaching at that time, if you listen to someone else's call, someone else get coached, even if it's the replay, guess what? They're probably walking a very similar journey to you. And so ask yourself, what am I supposed to take away from this coaching right now? And I guarantee you can have transformation.
For sure. Who is the person that needs to be on this call?
Any business owner that has a sticky thought. I call them the sticky thoughts. A thought that keeps coming up. And funny enough, we have 60,000 thoughts a day and 80% are negative and recurring.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of the times they're subconscious thoughts that your brain is just telling you that you don't even really realize that you're saying to yourself until you see, oh, these are the actions that I took. Like I didn't connect on Instagram today because I felt overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Or I didn't do, like a lot of the times it's an action you don't take because of the subconscious thought. Basically, any business owner in any level of their business, and I know that's so broad and not niche down at all, but someone that is willing to take a look at their unconscious thoughts and decide if they want to keep them or not.
Nice. Tell me what it looks like to work with you then if someone does go to the free call and then join your membership, like what does that all look like?
So the free call is free every month. You sign up once and you can come as many months as you want to come. There's also some really awesome free resources inside there. I put all my free resources because I'm a PDF junkie all in one spot. So you can go and get access to whatever you feel called to. And then if you vibe with me and you're like, hey, Chrissy, that transformation, just watching someone else get coached on that call was really great. I offer twice monthly group coaching calls inside the Do the Dang Thing membership, along with content coaching, a networking call, and one training every month. And the training usually centers around some sort of mindset struggle that I see coming up with clients inside of the membership.
Awesome. That's fabulous. So many, tons of resources. So if you ever need a place to start, go there. Let's see. Is there anything else that you want to cover that we haven't talked through yet?
If you don't feel safe in a group environment, I do have very limited spots for one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
Again, with the full-time job, there's only so many hours in the week. And so a lot of the times I do encourage the group coaching because you're going to get something from everyone, even if you can't physically make each call. Beyond that, just having someone in your pocket, whether that's me, whether that's Candace, whether that's just someone that understands your business and can help you see through the mud. Sometimes when we're centered so much in our business, it's hard to see the clarity while we're standing in the mud. And so make sure you have someone in your pocket to help you, to guide you through any sort of mindset struggle, strategy struggles in your business. You're not weak for needing help. You're just human.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So good. Thank you for being here and for sharing your story. This was so great. So many nuggets people can take away today. Where can we find you and connect with you?
So I'm under my name, Chrissi Sperduto. So it's at Chrissi.Sperduto on Instagram and Threads. And then I'm also at ChrissiSperduto.com. And yeah, I would love to connect. This is how we cast a wide net. So come follow me, see the craziness and my dog and the stories and all of the things we have going on.
Yes. And go head over to her podcast, Do the Dang Thing, and get value there too. It's just so many places that people can utilize these days to really work on their mindset and work on business that's out there, especially with podcasting. So this was great. Thank you so much for being here. Go to the show notes, everybody. We're going to link everything there.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's it for today. If this episode gave you a little aha or you're thinking about guesting on podcasts now, I'd love to hear about it. Screenshot the episode, tag me on Instagram at Candace Dudley, and let me know your biggest takeaways. And don't forget to come back next Tuesday for another episode.